All right, let's get things going here. So we are going to work together like we normally do, you guys. Everybody needs to log in. We're going to be doing a little review as we get to see each other here. You get the chat going and the kids going here. Everybody online needs to print this off in Canvas, and I'll get everybody situated here in the first few minutes, but let me get the chat going. It is good to see everybody here. Holy cow, first time for most of you guys here. How's the temperature in here, you guys? Hot, cold, wet, just right? Which one? Sometimes it can get hot in here at times. So you have an AC. Now, technically, I'm not supposed to do this, but today I need to follow on. We're all going to log in, and in the future, we're going to be putting this off ahead of time. But day number one, kind of hard to do that because you guys didn't know. Good to see you guys. Glad you guys came here. Make sure you're. We don't have that problem there. When you want to speak, you can just speak up directly to me. You don't, since you're here on it live, you do not turn your mics on, because if you do, we will have major problems as you just. All right, everybody's coming into class. There we go. Good to see everybody here. The people online, you got to have your cameras on. You got to be visible. To be part of classroom, that is protocol. So get those cameras on. If you haven't printed the chapter review, go to Canvas right now and do a quick print. And we'll get started here once we get everybody going. I'm logged in twice, as you probably can see. Everybody online can see what a classroom looks like right now. It's a little bit different, obviously, because everybody has their own little privacy area. So go to Canvas, you guys, go to chapter 5 module and print off the review, and then get ready to go. And if you have any questions or needs in the beginning here, go ahead and speak up here. And that goes for everybody, because I'm talking to 2 different groups at the same time. And we'll get started here in a few minutes here. Once I get everybody into class. David, I got your message about the camera and your reason why. Let's just try. Usually have it on, so I understand that today. But in general, you guys, everybody that comes to class, if you're online, you need to have that camera on so I can see you. The communication is much better when I could see everybody and you can see me. And like I said, I'm logged in twice, so you guys can see what the classroom looks like. Everybody needs a calculator here today. So you can use a calculator on your phone. Use that simple calculator here, or you can use decimals on your screens, whatever is easier for you, or TID4 or some basic calc. But everybody's going to be working with me. Everybody online, you guys are going to be working with me as well. We're going to do the same thing as we normally do. We can use the chat effectively. Everybody that's live in class, you guys just speak up, okay? Or you can enter the chat too. I mean, we'll utilize both, but you guys do not have to use your mute and unmute and all that. You just speak up because I can hear you right here. Raise your hand if you have questions. Just act normal. Everybody else, Uh, let's test the audio here. So Josh, will you turn your mic on and just talk to me here and greet the class here, because I want to make sure my audio is working so everybody in the class can.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, okay. Let's see if everybody can hear you guys. Everybody speak up, say something.
Hi.
Sound a little bit more energetic than that.
Okay.
We're going to try to get everything going so that everybody online can hear the people in class. And if you can't, if they ask questions, what I'll do is I'll reiterate it and put that on so everybody on the screen, online can hear me and vice versa here. So first of all, can you guys hear me okay with my mask on? Because I'm required to wear a mask here. Give me some feedback. Thank you. So, okay, there you go. And then Damian and Nathan, Kyle. Well, Kyle's with me right here. These are the guys with me in class. Okay, where is everybody here? A lot of people. So Getsy just logged in. Okay, so Damian, where are you, buddy?
I'm trying to find my workbook.
Okay, you don't need that. Go to Canvas and download, print off the Chapter 3 review, because this is not in your workbook.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and show that real quick before we get going here. So Canvas, just go to your Chapter 5 module, Chapter 5 module here. And at the bottom, after the project, part 1 is the review, okay? Just open that up and do a quick print, and so you can follow along. There we go. And I sure wish everybody attended. It's important that you guys attend class. Well, first of all, it's good to see everybody here in class. I mean, it's nice to see you guys live in person, and it's good to see everybody online too. Thanks for keeping your cameras on out there too, guys. Let's start off by just getting to know each other a little bit, and in respect to break. Everybody, let's do a little high and low. So everybody go to the chat right now. Everybody inside the classroom and also online. Give me a high and low over break. What was your high point? What was your low point over break? I know that when I had the little open house on Saturday, I had about 30 students attend, and we did a little barbecue and games, and that was my high point. Dad and seeing my mom and dad, which I haven't seen in 15 months. So my high point was the open house event for the classes, in which I saw quite a few of you guys. We had a blast. Everybody go to the chat. Give me your high and low before we do any mathematics here. Just want to see what's going on with you guys over break. Okay, so get your fingers going. Or if you just want to talk freely, go ahead and turn your mic, because everybody here at the school can hear you guys. You guys see okay? Maybe that's a little better for the screens. Okay, so let me read what's going on here. I always like to, check out my students to see how you guys are doing before we do any mathematics. So Jacqueline, getting some rest. Lowest break is over, yeah. So let's see here. Jacqueline, how'd you like those puppies that you saw the other day at the house?
They're so cute. Oh my God. I can't stop thinking about them. I've never seen a puppy so little.
Well, they're only 2 days old. So for everybody that wasn't able to come to the open house, we foster dogs. And right now we have a German Shepherd mama who just had 7 babies, 7 little pups, like 4 days ago. And that was one of the things that the kids did when they came to my open house. They went down and saw the horses and the donkey and the pig and the mama German Shepherd and all their pups. So it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of fun things down there. So let's see, Getsy hang out with some friends. And Getsy, you weren't excited about coming back to school? I know you're getting used to having an extra hour at home, right? But you made the choice to be here, so I'm proud of you for doing that. That's good. Let's see here, Priscilla. High was getting some rest. That's good. Low was waking up for school. Yeah, okay. That's something we all have to face. See, Joshua, I was getting a lot to work a lot. So Joshua, where do you work again? What's your job?
Oh, it's Five Guys right now. Right now.
I'll tell you, that's my favorite business, man. So I'm gonna have to come and check that out. So let me see. Damien went to the desert to ride. There you go. So Damien, what do you ride again? Motorcycle.
Banshee, it's a quad.
Okay, so Banshee meaning the quad.
Yes.
All right, that was a lot of fun. I used to go out to the desert all the time, but I rode a motorcycle instead of the quad. But good times going to the desert. Let's see, Adiana got to see family. There you go. Let me see, Alyssa went on a road trip. Alyssa, where'd you go? Where's your road trip, Alyssa?
Oh, we went to Yosemite there was like a family friend wedding over there that my mom catered for, so it was fun though.
Oh, that's a blast. Well, I love Yosemite. That is one of the most spectacular places on the planet. All right, Jonathan here spending time with family. We're getting caught up on homework. Jonathan, I didn't assign any homework over break. Okay. All right. Well, it's a good thing I didn't assign any homework here, so that's good. And then let's see here. Xavier, let me see. You got sleep a lot, okay? But you're here. You're actually here with me, so that's good. To do. Oh, so now you have to get back in the schedule. Is that what you mean? Yeah, because you have to actually get up, maybe around 6 o'clock now because you have to get to school on time. Yeah. That happens. Same thing with me, but I get up early anyway, so it didn't really affect me. Let me see. So Emily here, let me see, hung out with family. And again, wow, you're just like Xavier, so trying to figure out the sleep schedule thing. Okay, that's cool. And then Charlie, so are you finished moving? Are you all good now?
No, we still have like a lot to do, but it's okay.
But are you actually in now?
No, not yet. We're just packing it all up right now. Like my house is like full of boxes.
Oh, so you haven't physically moved into your new place yet?
Not all of it, no. We just put like some in and like there's like stuff that was in storage, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there are no moving stuff. All right. And then Christian, extra sleep and no lows. Yeah, that's good. No lows. All right. Well, let's do it, guys. Let's get involved now. When we do this here, we have two groups simultaneously. For my people in the classroom here, my group here, you don't turn on your microphone, you don't unmute, okay? Because that will screw up the interference and everything. You just speak up. You can just speak up, or you can raise your hand and speak up. Just go ahead and vocalize to me, but speak up because we have to. You have to go behind these screens, okay? So be able to talk to me freely at any time. If you have questions at any time, speak up freely. Everybody else online, everybody here at school can hear you guys. So if you just turn on your mic and ask a question, everybody in the classroom, including me, can hear you. So nothing changes there. We're still going to use the chat for responses because everybody in the classroom is logged on, so we can still do that. And we still use a basic calculator to do our calculations. And I'm going to be using Desmos here. You guys use whatever you have, whether it's a phone, an iPad, whatever. You need a basic calculator. So get that ready to go because I'm not going to be doing the calculations. You guys are. And I will probably be calling upon some people just to make sure that you guys are working with me here and give you guys a chance to participate. Okay, because the mathematics is not hard. It's just you just have to understand and interpret the problem. Okay, give me a second here. Let me turn on the AC. Well, it's another thing we got to fix. All right, the AC's not working. Okay. All right, let's do this, guys. So everybody in the house here, tell me to bring it on. Bring it on. All right, let's do it. Okay, guys, everybody online, let's do it. Let's do what we always do in here and let's work together. All right, now this is a review. So if you, for the people in class, you should always bring your notebook, by the way, your workbook, okay, because you can use it. Everybody online, after you print this off, you should always have your notebook side by side, because when you do a review, which is just a simulation of everything, just like a comprehensive look, you can use your workbook to help you out if you need it. If you need it. And if you don't, that's great. That means you understand the material. All right, so here we go. Ariana is considering 2 job offers. One has an annual salary of 51.2K. So let's go ahead and annotate a little bit here. So the first job has an annual salary of 51.2K. Oh, by the way, let's go. What does K mean? Okay, so let's put that at the very top. So K is equal to 1,000. All right, so when you say 51.2K, you got to interpret that. That's 51.2 thousand. The other one has an annual salary of 67.3K. The question is what is the difference? So what is the difference in weekly pay? So we have to go from annual to weekly in this example. All right, so let's start working on it. Here we go, part 1. So let's take our first salary of 51.2K. And let's take that and multiply 51.2 times 1,000. Now you don't need a calculator for this. When you multiply by 1,000, you simply shift the decimal right 3 places. Okay? And when you do that, you get 51,200. And you can check that with a calculator. Okay, so that's per year. So per year. Now we want to change it to weekly. So we need to know how many weeks per year. So you guys online, you can have a choice. You can turn on your mics and speak up to the class, or you can go to the chat. Same thing with you guys. You just speak up though. So how many weeks per year? Okay, 52 weeks per year. So we're going to divide this by, let's use the conversion factor. 1 year, all right? In 1 year, there are 52 weeks. Okay? Notice the units cancel, years cancel, and you get 51,200 divided by 52. All right, so everybody get going here. You're going to be doing the calculations for me. And like I said, you just need a basic calculator today. You can use your calculator on your phone, your iPad, or Desmos, either one. And again, you guys can use the chat. Let's use the chat right now. Okay, so go ahead and put a response in here. What are you guys getting right there? Rounded to the nearest penny. And again, the faster you guys do your calculations, the better. So we want to be able to go through this pretty, in less than 90 minutes, I hope. Okay, there we go. And if you agree or disagree, just make sure you speak up here. And you guys, obviously I can hear you, so you can speak up and ask questions at any time, okay? So I agree with that, $984.62. So the first calculation we have is $984.62, and this is per week. So do /WK. This is per week now. We're going from annual to weekly, and we divide by 52 because there's 52 weeks per year. All right, now the other situation is a little bit different. You get paid a little bit more. So let's change 67.3K, and this is an annual, so this is per year. And let's go to weekly on this too as well to see what we are actually making, or what Ariana is making in this case. So when you take 67.3K and you change it into dollars, you got to multiply that by 1,000, which means that you just shift that decimal place 3 places right. You can check that on the calculator if you like, okay? That's what happens when you multiply by 1,000. So remember, K means 1,000, so you just simply multiply by 1,000, and you're going to get $67,300 per year. This is an annual salary. So when you see me go slash and then per year, that means per year, every year. That's what annual salary is all about. Then we want to convert it to weekly. So we always say, okay, there's 52 weeks a year. We know that in 1 year, there's 52 weeks. WK is week. Notice the units cancel out again. And you're going to have to take 67,300, divide that by 52, and round it to the nearest penny. And I'm sorry about the temperature in here, you guys. The AC is not kicking on, so I'm gonna have to make a call after school and get that going. So the next session you guys are here, it'll be more manageable in here. So I apologize. It usually works. Okay, guys, let's see here. Oh, you already have it going on. I agree with that. Okay, so when you take 67,300 divided by 52, you get $1,294.23 per week. So slash per week means per week. Okay, now the question says, what's the difference? So when we say the difference of two things, that means you got to subtract. And usually when you do that, you go high minus low, not low minus high, but you go high minus low. So let's take the $1,294.23 and subtract the previous one, which is $984.62. And let's get a difference here. So how much more money per week is this is Ariana going to make on the second job offer? How much more money? So go ahead and make that calculation, put that in the chat. Oh, here we go. There you go. So it's nice to see that you guys in the classroom are also chiming in on the chat here too with the people online. So we're all working together as a team. Very good. That's what we need to see here. So I agree with that too. So $309.61. Okay. Now let's make sure that we all, as we go through the set of problems today, we ask questions as we go. Okay. Just speak up at any time. Stop me at any time. Tell me to slow down. Let's talk, and do a little Q&A as we go versus waiting until the end. Okay? Especially when we get to the harder ones like the piecewise functions. Okay. All right. Number 2 is a piecewise function. So this is a little bit different here. And these come up in business all the time. The pay structures and cost structures of certain things are always given by piecewise functions. So in this case, number 2, Colson owns Colson Construction Company or Corporation, excuse me. The cost of an ad for X lines, so X lines, X is the number of lines, is given by the following piecewise function. So C of X represents in dollars. So C of X is just a symbol for cost. Oh, I'm going to bring Jairon in the house. Here we go. So C of X is the cost. And the cost is given by 2 parts here. So the cost is 25 times X in dollars if X is less than or equal to 2. And again, X is the number of lines. Technically, that's called the domain of the piecewise function, technically speaking. Jairon, how we doing? Yo, buddy, talk to me. How you doing? I'll come back to you here in a minute. You got when you get a moment, you got to respond to me, buddy. Okay, so let's figure out a couple things here. Number 2, he needs a welder and is placing a two line ad. So X is equal to 2 in this case. So if you want 2 lines, what would the cost be? Okay. So let's go back to the piecewise function. C of X is equal to 25 times X if X is less than or equal to 2. So this is the first piece. The second piece is given by 50 plus 4 times X minus 2 if X is greater than 2. Well, if you want a 2-line ad, you're in piece number 1. 2 is obviously less than or equal to 2, obviously. So if X is equal to 2 in this case, your C of X, or C of 2 in this case, C standing for cost, given that you want a 2-line ad, so we call that C of 2, is given by the first piece here, because again, 2 is in the first piece of the function. It's in the domain where X is less than or equal to 2. So you're going to have to take 25 times 2 lines, and obviously that's going to give you a total of $50 for the 2-line ad. Okay, so you would use the first piece if the X value is either less than or equal to 2, either 0, 1, or 2. If you're beyond 2, then you're going to be using the second piece of the function, which is part B. If he needs a welder and is placing a 6-line ad, so that means X is equal to 6 here, you got to find the cost when you want 6 lines, and that's called C of 6. So since 6 is greater than 2, you're going to be in the second part of the function instead of the first part. Give me a thumbs up either in the classroom or online if you understand what I'm saying so far. You're going to be using the second piece versus the first piece since 6 is greater than 2. Where remember 6 right here, 6-line ad, you got to say, okay, is it less than or equal to 2 or is it greater than 2? And, you know, obviously 6 is greater than 2. So you're going to be using the second piece versus the first piece. Does that make sense? Okay. So in this case, we got to figure this out. It's going to be equal to 50 bucks, all right, plus 4 times X minus 2, but X is 6, so it's going to be times 6 minus 2. So take a moment and work that out. What would that be? What would be the total cost for 6 lines? Just use this little simple order operations right there. Start by taking 6 minus 2, whatever that is, multiply by 4, add 50. Let's go to the chat or turn on your mics, one of the two, for those online. You guys in here, if you come up with your answers, if you want to vocalize your answers, you can just vocalize, okay? Okay, so yeah, we're all responding in the chat, whether you're in class or online. Very good, you guys. So 50 plus 4 times 4 would be 50 plus 16 or 66 bucks. All right, 6 lines. Okay, let's pause here. Any questions up to this point? Okay, and by the way, just so you guys know, I'm looking at everybody in class right now, and then I'm also glancing everybody online is on my computer on my second screen, so I can see everybody visually. So if you guys want to give me physical responses like, you know, head nodding or thumbs up or down or, you know, hands up, whatever, yeah, there you go. You can do whatever you want, okay? Or again, let's vocalize because I can hear everybody. Okay, number three, what's going on here? So Ethan's advertising agency here, or company, charges $14 for each of the first 4 lines. Okay, let's annotate a little bit. This is the first part of the function right here. $14 for each of the first 4 lines. That's the first thing we know. And for a classified ad. And then $6.25 for each additional line. That's the second piece. So we got a 2-part function here. We want to express the cost of an X line ad using C of X. So C of X is going to be representing the cost. Okay, so it's going to be representing the cost in dollars, and it's going to be equal to some 2-part function. I left space on the left because we're going to do a table of values on the left. Okay, so don't just keep that in mind. So we have first part of the function if something happens, and then the second part of the function, okay, if something happens. So I'm approaching this just like we did. I think it's in sections 2 or 3. So if you want to open up your notebook to section 2 or 3, you can see how we did this. And I approached it using a table of values. So let's do the same thing. So let's set up a table of values on the left-hand side where X equals the number of lines. And C of X is going to represent our cost. And let's figure out the costs, you know, for the first 7 lines, you know, and develop a pattern. And as we develop the table, we'll see some patterns. And once we see the pattern, then we can write the function. And again, if you want to look at your workbook, we did this in section, it's either sections 1, 2, or 3. I'm not looking at the workbook right now, but it's in there, guys. Okay, so let's work it out here. So it's $14 for each. Let's put those keywords in quotes here for each of the first 4 lines. Let's figure this out. So here we go. So for the first line, when X is equal to 1, okay, it's 1 times 14 because it's $14 for each of the first 4 lines. So 1 times $14, okay, would obviously be equal to $14. So the first line is 14 bucks. Let's do it. Let's figure it out for the first 4, and then we'll write the first part of the function. So on the second part here, for 2 lines, it's going to be 2 times the 14. What would that be? What you guys, you just talked to me here. What's 2 times 14? You guys got to speak up really loud for me. 28, right? 2 times 14, 28. There you go. I can hear you guys online too. Yeah, there you go. So $28 for 3 lines. Let's get a pattern going. So 3 times 14. It says $14 for each of the first 4 lines. So we got to do this for the first 4 lines to see what's going on. So can you guys do that in your head? What's 3 times 14? There you go, $42. So $42. Now, 4 times 14, that'd be $14 more. There you go. And I'm seeing online too. I see people responding online, like Mia's saying 56. So she's agreeing with you guys here. So 56. Okay, so here we go. That's the first part of the function. So when x is less than or equal to 4, when x is less than or equal to 4, we have a certain cost. We need to come up with a function here. How did we figure out the cost in each of the first 4 cases? What in the world did we do? Look at the pattern up there in the table. When x is 1, it was 1 times 14. When x is 2, it's 2 times 14. When x is 3, it's 3 times 14. So what would the cost be in general for x lines if x is less than or equal to 4? And you guys can also read the chat here. Look what people are responding as here. We're taking the number of lines and we're multiplying it by 14 on each one here. So we have, there we go. We have 14 times whatever x is. Very good. 14 times whatever x is. So our first part of the function is simply 14x. If x is less than or equal to 4. Remember, this is the number of lines. Now, things change after the 4th one. Okay, because there's a different charge involved. So if you reread the problem there in part 2, it says that for each additional line after 4, when x is greater than 4, when x is greater than 4, like 5, let's say, okay, you have a different cost associated with it. So for the 5th line, if we wanted to have a 5-line add, we'd have to pay for the first 4 lines, which is 56. We already know that, so we're going to bring that in. But it's going to cost an additional $625 for each of the additional lines. So it's going to be plus 1 times $625. What would that be? What would 56 plus 625 be? And for the people in my classroom, you got to really vocalize because I can hear you, but these things make it difficult. Okay, you guys agree with that? 62.25? Okay. All right, so here we go. So that's 62.25. Let's do this up to 7. Let's go up to 7 and see if we can figure out a pattern. So for the 6th line, we got to pay for the first 4 lines, which is 56, plus 2 additional lines, each at $6.25 apiece. What would that be? J. Ron, did you get the everything printed online on the chapter review? Yeah, turn your mic on, buddy, so I can hear you.
Yeah, I got it printed. I don't know why it was being a bit difficult, but I just moved it to Google Docs and it printed. It took 3 papers instead of 2, but I got it printed anyways.
Okay, it's okay, buddy. Just follow along, man. Catch up with us here. Okay, so we got 68. Charlie's saying 68.5 or 50 cents. So $68.50. There we go. So $68.50. Okay, let's do it for one more. So if we want 7 lines, we got to pay for the first 4 lines, which is 56. We calculated that above, plus 3 more lines. Each one costs $6.25. So what would the cost there be? Everybody chime in. Everybody participate, whether you're at home or in the classroom. Everybody start calculating. There we go. So I heard $74.75. There we go. So 74, 75. Now let's take a look at the pattern here. When x is greater than 4, when you have 4 more lines. So let me switch colors here. Everybody look at my screen here real quick. When you have 5 lines, it's 56 plus 1 times 625. When x is 6, it's 56 plus 2 times 625. And when x is 7, it's 56 plus not 7 times 625, but 3 times 625. So it's going to be 56 plus 7. If x is like unknown, what would that function be? I mean, I'm talking about the second part of the piecewise function here. What would that function be? You guys have any idea what it would be? By looking at the pattern. And the people online can chime in too here. What do you guys see here? For x lines, when x is greater than 4, it's going to be 56 plus something, right? Plus something. But what would that something be? Say again. Well, you got to. It's going to be 6.25 times something. Okay. Well, if this was x here, then that would be the same as this number here. So let's bring it up. I'm gonna go up here. Guys, bring your eyes up here. So follow the flow. Here. So when x is 5, it's 56 plus not 5 times 6.5, but 1 times 6.5. So you got to figure out what do you do for 5 to get to 1, for the 6 to get to 2, the 7 to get to 3. Subtract 4. So it's going to be if x is greater than 4, it's going to be 56 plus whatever x is minus 4 times the 6.25. Does that make sense? Okay. So just looking at the pattern up there, it's going to be 56 plus whatever x is minus 4, all right, times 6.25. Or you can write it like this. You can write it as same thing as 56 plus, most people put the number in front, 6 1/4 times whatever x minus 4 is. Either way, those are the same. That's when x is greater than 4, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Let's pause right here because that's one of the main skills that's new in this chapter here is developing the piecewise function. I think everything else is a little bit straightforward, more straightforward than that. But do we follow that here on the second part of the function? Give me some feedback right here. And everybody online too, give me some feedback because I'm looking at you guys too. I'm looking at everybody right now. Okay. Cameron, I almost didn't recognize you, man. You got a haircut. Looking good, buddy. I like it. Okay. So let's move on if you guys don't have any questions. We're good? Okay. Number 4. Different terminology here. So we've got to remember what semi-monthly is versus bi-weekly and all that sort of thing. So in number 4, we got Michael is paid semi-monthly here. That's obviously important. So how many times per month are you paid then? If you're paid semi-monthly, how many times are you paid per month? Yep, twice per month. In fact, let's write that down. 2 times per month. 2 times. 2x means 2 times. So 2 times per month. Now let's think about this. Let's use our logic here. If you're paid twice a month, whether it's on the 15th, you guys can look me up here, whether it's the 15th and the 31st if you're in March, or in February it could be the 14th and the 28th, or in April has 30 days, so it could be the 15th and the 30th. Okay, it could be something like that. You're going to be paid twice per month, and there's 12 months, right? 12 months in a year. So how many times per year are you going to get paid? 24. So when you're paid semi-monthly, which is how some jobs are being paid, that means you're going to be paid 24 times per year. Okay, that's different than biweekly. Biweekly is 26 times per year. It's different. So if you're paid semi-monthly, it's 24. You're paid 24 times every during the year, or 24 times total. So the question is like, if you have an annual salary of $44,220, what is the semi-monthly salary? So we have to go from annual to semi-monthly. So let's do it. So let's take your annual salary of $44,222 per year, and let's convert it. So if you want to go from annual to semi-monthly, all you have to know is that you get paid 24 times per year. So in 1 year, there are 24 semi-monthly periods. Semi-monthly periods, or pay periods. So all you have to do, my friends, is simply divide your annual salary, which is $44,222, by 24. Okay? So let's go for that. Tell me what you get. Let's go to the chat here. Let's all go to the chat and let's put your results in when you're ready, so that everybody can like compare your values. 44,222 divided, and you got to round it to the nearest penny too, by the way, because we're dealing with money here. So we always round to the nearest hundredth or the nearest penny. There you go. You guys are agreeing with each other, and I agree with you guys too. All right, so 1842.58 per semi-monthly period. Very good. So his salary twice a month now, twice a month on different days during the month, but it's twice a month, is 1842.58. And again, this is semi-monthly, twice a month. Okay. Now number 5 is related, but it's the opposite procedure here. So let's reverse the situation. Let's suppose that Logan is paid semi-monthly. You know his semi-monthly salary. Okay, so you know the semi-monthly salary, but what is the annual? So let's reverse the process. So let's suppose that he's paid, Logan in this case, is paid $1,641.55 per semi-monthly period. And again, that's different, on a different day for every month. It depends on what month you're in. So if you're paid semi-monthly at your job in, let's say in February, you could be on the 14th and then 28th in February. And then March comes around, which has 31 days, and then they're going to switch it and they're going to pay you on the 16th and the 31st. So if your job pays you in a semi-monthly fashion, you get paid on different days throughout the year. Okay? That's what happens. Now we know that there's 24 semi-monthly periods per year, per 1 year. And notice the units cancel and you end up with dollars. So in this case, you got to multiply it by 24 because we know that there's 24 pay periods per year if you're semi-monthly. So you got to multiply those two numbers and then round it to the nearest penny. What do you guys think about Priscilla's number there? Agree, disagree? Okay. Okay, so $39,397 $20. There we go. This is per year. Okay, let's pause here. Any questions up to this point? And if not, just give me some kind of response, either physical, thumbs up or down or whatever, or all good in the chat, one of the two. How are we doing so far? Okay, and I can see you guys on my screen here. I've got you big and bold on my big screen too. Okay. And again, speak up at any time. You guys, I can hear you and the whole class can hear you online if you guys speak up and use your mics. Okay, do that at any time. All right, let's dive into a few more here. So number 6 on the second page. So Caitlin works as a waitress here at Yard House Restaurant. That's where my son works. Her regular hourly wage is $15.25. There's a little typo there, so ignore the double decimal. She regularly works 40 hours per week. The question is, what's her weekly pay? So here we go, weekly pay. So let's start off with what we know. We know that her hourly wage is $15.25. And that's close to close to minimum wage these days. So let's say that we have $15.25 per hour. In this case, she's going to be working 40 hours per week. So we got to multiply it by 40 hours and see what we get. This is per week. So notice the units cancel out again, just like they do in chemistry. Okay, what do we get here, guys? Give me a shout in the classroom when you're ready here. You guys give me a shout online too. You can use your mics. I like to hear your voices, by the way. What's 1525 times 40? I don't know if you guys online heard that or not. They said 610. Do you agree with that? Okay, Charlize, thanks for giving me some feedback. Okay, make sure you guys are calculating with me here. Okay, you always do much better if you are interacting, meaning with taking notes, doing the calculations on your calculator, the whole bit. So this is 610 per week. So go /WK. Question is, if she works 50 weeks a year, not the entire year, she takes 2 weeks off for a vacation maybe. So at that rate, at 50 weeks per year, at that rate, what is her annual? Okay, so let's figure that out. So annual salary is going to be her weekly rate. So let's take this one here. So 610 per week. All right, multiplied by 50 weeks. What in the world is that?
30,500.
Yeah, I think you guys said the same thing here, right? Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, so when you multiply that, whoops, I got / the wrong thing here. Here we go. The weeks cancel out, not the numbers. All right, we get 30,500. So good job, guys. This is an annual, so this is per year. Okay, and I don't want to go too fast or too slow, but make sure you guys are, asking questions as you go. Stop me at any time. Tell me to slow down. Speak up. Don't be afraid to stop me at any time. Okay, because I want to make sure you guys are understanding this, not just copying down, taking notes, but really, really understand all this, because this is real life stuff, my friends. This is really going to happen to you guys later on in life once you guys get some careers and jobs going. Okay. All right. J-Ron, all good right there, man? You got to turn your mic on when you give me a response so I can hear you, buddy. I just noticed you were looking at your calculator. All good?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm setting an alarm. I have work later.
Ah, okay. No worries. So what do you do for work, by the way?
I work down, or at least I'm going to work down the sushi place that's like down the street. And
Nice.
I have the showcase how I work for the next 4 hours at 4 o'clock or something like that.
All right, good man. Sounds good. All right, number 7. In this case, Grant earns $18.50 per hour. All right, he regularly his regular hours are 40 hours per week, and he receives time and a half overtime. Nice. Okay, find his total pay for a week in which he works 45 hours. So in this case, guys, we assume that anything over 40 hours is overtime. So how many hours is overtime in this case? You can show me on your hands, on the screen or in the classroom. How many? That's right, because we're at 45 is 5 beyond 40. Anything over 40 hours per week is usually considered overtime. Okay, so we got to step this one out. Let's take a look at, let's get the regular pay first. So our regular pay. Okay, so we know that we make it, or in this case, Grant makes $18.50 per hour. Okay, and so if it's $18.50 per hour and he's working 40 hours per week, we got to multiply this value by 40 hours. And this is per week. This is how we calculate the regular pay. You take your hourly rate and then you multiply by how many hours you work for that week. In this case, it's 40. Let me know when you're ready. You guys got to give me some feedback here. Do you guys agree or disagree with Priscilla? She said 740. Jonathan, you agree? Everybody else good? Okay, so $740. This is per week now. Okay, for the first 40 hours. Now, second part, overtime pay. Let's calculate. OT is overtime. Now, overtime is time and a half in this case, in this situation. Some jobs give you double time, double the rate, and some give you time and a half. If you work at a grocery store like Stater Brothers, Vons, Albertsons, they usually do time and a half, but if they're having a hard time getting people to stay on, like, say, a holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas or, you know, some national holiday, sometimes they give double time where you double the rate, which is like a really good thing for you guys if you can work that day. But in this case, it's time and a half. So we got to calculate the overtime rate. So let's calculate that first. So time and a half is 1.5, okay? So you got to take, when you calculate your rate, the easiest way to do it for me is you got to multiply your hourly rate by 1.5, time and a half, 1.5. So what is that? What's 1.5 times 1850? Okay, so let me do it over here. So 1.5 times 1850. Say it again, please. There you go. So $27.75 per hour. So you got to calculate your new hourly overtime rate and then multiply that by how many hours you're working. Okay, so whenever you calculate 1.5 or time and a half, you could take your rate and then add half of it, or simply multiply it by 1.5 to get time and a half, and then multiply it by how many hours you actually work overtime. So in this case, we're going to take a 75. This is per hour now. And we're going to multiply it by the 5 hours you're working overtime. Again, this is overtime. So how much more does, in this case, Grant get paid? What's the overtime pay? What's 5 times 27.75? Priscilla, you're fast on the calculator there. And let's see, Alyssa and Maddie, you guys agree with that too? Okay. So we're all in agreement. Okay, 138.75, very good. So 138.75, that's the overtime. So we got regular pay up top. We got the overtime pay down below. So let's get the total pay. Total weekly pay. So you have to add up these numbers here, guys. So with 740 plus 138.75, you have to add the two. So 740 plus 138.75. Check your calculation there again. Everybody check that one here. There we go. Are you guys coming up with the 878.75? Okay. So there we go. So when you add those two together, you take your regular pay plus your overtime pay. In this case, we're going to get $878.75. And again, this is per week. Okay, that's a weekly pay. And again, this happens in certain jobs. So as you guys get your part-time jobs, as you guys go through college, or, you know, throughout your life here, some jobs do offer time and a half, going overtime, anything above 40 hours. And some jobs, they double the rate. And in that case, that's big time right there. That's big bucks. Okay. You guys are pretty quiet. Are we all good so far? Okay, everybody online all good? I'm looking at you guys. Okay. Okay.
I'm still writing it down.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's try another one. So number 8, Kylie here wrote a textbook for high school students. She receives 6% royalty. This is what authors get when they write books, whether they're textbooks, fiction, nonfiction, it really doesn't matter. But authors, when they write books and sell books, they get what are called royalties, a percent of the total sales. Oh, look who's coming in. We got Michael coming in. Okay, so in this case, 6% royalty on the total sales. That's important right here. So whatever that is, what's 6% of the total sales? That's what Kylie's going to get, you know, as people buy her books. The book sells for $41.95. Important thing here. So the cost per book is $41.95, and there were 9,871 copies sold last year. The question is how much did she receive in royalty payments? So the question that we have is right here. How much did she receive in royalty payments? So before we calculate that, it's 6% of, we got to calculate 6% of the total. So how do we calculate the total sales? Let's talk about that here. So how do you calculate total sales? Total sales in dollars. Okay, dollars. How do you do that? I need some help here. Each book costs $41.95, and we're selling, or she sold 9,871. So how do you calculate the total sales for in this situation? Multiply, be specific. The cost times how many copies were sold. Okay, so let's do that. So we know that there's it's $41.95 per book, BK's book. That's the cost per book. We know that there's 9,871 copies sold, or books. So we need to multiply the $41.95, the cost per book, times the number of books or copies, same thing, sold, and this should be a pretty good sized number. Go ahead and make that calculation. What is the total sales coming in? The total amount of money that's coming in. She doesn't get the whole thing. She only gets 6% of it, which is called a royalty. Whenever you're ready, put it. Let's go to the chat and let's put your numbers in when you're ready. And then everybody comment on the values that you see. So Getsy already put in a result. Either agree or disagree with that. If you disagree, put in what you're getting. So yeah, it's a big number here, guys. Look at that, over $400,000 worth of sales coming in. That's kind of big. Okay, so let's use that. So were there any cents on that? Can anybody be a little bit more specific to the nearest penny? Okay, there you go. So you guys are agreeing on that. Okay, so there you go. So 414,000. 414,000, looks like $88.45 total sales. Total sales. Now, she gets what's called a royalty. Okay, and the royalty in this case is 6%. She gets 6% of the sales. So we got to calculate 6% of the total sales, which we just calculated above. So in order to do that, though, what do we need to do with all the percentages before we use a percentage? What do we always do with percents, you guys? Yeah, so what is 6% as a decimal? There you go. Always convert it to a decimal. All right, so we got to calculate 0.06 times the $414,088.45. Can you guys help me out with that? Okay, so Mia or Jonathan's agreeing with Mia. You guys agree too? Because it's important that you guys are calculating, because the more you get involved, the better you get at the calculator, the better you get at the, just understanding everything. Okay, and you guys said $24,845.31, which I agree with too. 24,000, 845, 31 cents. Commission. It's a royalties, like another word for commission. That's what she's getting from the total sales. Authors never get the total sales. Never get the total sales. They always get a portion of it. And that portion is either called a commission, or in this case with authors, it's called a royalty. Do I have anybody in the house here that wants to become an author? Anybody like really into literature and reading and writing? It's all good. I was just checking. Sometimes we get, future writers involved. Okay. It's all good. Okay. So that was an example of authorship. Let's take a look at number 9 here. So number 9, Joshua sells magazines part-time. Oh, this is a salesperson. A lot of jobs with sales. So part-time, he's paid monthly commission. He receives 22% of the first $1,600 in sales. So that's part number 1. So that's the first important thing. So 22% of the first $1,600 in sales. And then it changes to 12% of the balance in sales after $1,600. So last month he sold a total of $4,250 worth of magazine subscriptions. Question is, what's the total commission? Okay, so this is a multi-step problem here. So we got to figure out the first part. What in the world is 22% of 1,600? So let's do that. So this is part 1. So the first commission. So 22% of the first $1,600. Okay, this is where I need help from you guys. Whenever you calculate a percentage of something, you simply multiply your percentage times the total, which in this case is 0.22 times 1,600. Let me know when you're ready, you guys. There we go. Okay, so you guys are saying $352 for the first part of the commission. Okay, so $352 for the first part. And then he also gets 12% of the balance. So what in the world does that mean? So step number 2, this is part number 2. We got to calculate 12% of the balance. 12, whoops, let me change that, sorry. 12% of the balance. What in the world does that mean? 12% of something. How do you calculate the balance? See, he sold $4,250 total. On the first $1,600, he has 22%. But then it says 12% of he gets 12% of the balance. So what does the word balance mean? How can we interpret that? In fact, what's another word that can represent it? What's another word that represents the balance or the part after, try not to give it away here, part after 1,600? He sold a lot more than that. He sold $4,250 total. So when we say 12% of the balance, we're referring to exactly what? Yeah, subtraction, yeah. And it's the part remaining after the 1,600. So yeah, the difference, and that's what she said, subtraction. You said difference, same thing. Priscilla in the chat was saying the difference as well. So let's do this. Well, the word balance means the part after 1,600. So we take a difference between the total and 1,600. So 4,250 minus the 1,600 here, guys. So we have to calculate 0.12 times whatever this number is. So what's 4,250 minus 1,600? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so yeah, when you subtract the 2, you're going to get 2,650. All right, and then multiply that by 12%. I know, Priscilla kind of outlined it right there. Do you guys agree with her values there or what? Okay. So 12%, 0.12 times 2650, a total of $318. That's what she gets, or Joshua gets in this case, in respect to the balance. But the question is, how much commission? What's the total commission? So step 3, what's total commission? So what do we want to do? So for the first part here, Joshua gets $352 for the first, or 22% of the first 1,600, and then he gets 12% of the balance, which was 318. So what would his total be? What would his total commission be? There you go. So when you add 352 to 318, so 352 plus 318, a total of $670. So you guys are agreeing with Priscilla online there. Okay. Let's pause here. Give me a thumbs up or down on terms of level of understanding so far on the just the arithmetic and the words commission, royalty, and all the different vocabulary that's involved here. And again, I'm looking at you guys online, and I can also see all of you guys here, obviously. Doing okay on the vocabulary and everything? Okay, because these words really do come up in life, guys. That's what I love about this course, is that it's all real. We're not making up the mathematics here. It's just, it all comes out. Okay. You guys are doing well so far. Let's continue here. So number 10. Braden here works at a computer outlet. He receives $510 per week plus 3.05% commission based on his sales. That's a crazy percentage right there. Last year, he sold $815,452 worth of computer equipment. Question is how much money did he earn last year? Okay. So this is a multi-step problem here. What's the first thing we kind of have to calculate here? And again, speak up a little bit. And you also, what do we have to assume? If you want to figure out the annual salary, what do we have to assume? Okay, so what's your assumption, Xavier? No, that's given. That's assumed. You don't have to assume that. He's right. And does it say in the problem that he's working 52 weeks a year? So that's an assumption we have to make. So if we make that assumption, we can go from weekly to annual. So let's make a little assumption here. Assume he works 52 weeks per year. So if you make that assumption that he works 52 weeks per year, then we can go from weekly to annual. So let's calculate the annual salary. And so we know that he makes $510 per week. We're going to assume that he works 52 weeks a year, although that's not very realistic either, is it? Is it realistic or non-realistic? What usually happens at some point during the year? Either get sick or vacation or something. Something usually happens, right? You need time off sometimes. Sometimes you get sick. Sometimes, different things come up. But we have to solve a problem, so we have to make some kind of assumption here. So we're going to multiply this by 52 weeks. This is where you guys help out. So what's that first? What's the annual on this one? There we go. So an annual looks like $26,520 per year. Okay. Now that's his salary. But in many jobs, you get salary and commission. Even simple jobs like going to AT&T. I went there the other day to add some phone lines. I brought my parents onto my plan. So I had to add phone lines, 2 more phone lines, one for my mother, one for my father. And actually, I also added one for my brother. And the person that I was working with at AT&T gets a commission. He gets an hourly wage, minimum wage, plus a percentage of all the things that I buy, like iPhones or whatever phone, we buy. So if you work at a phone company like Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile, any of those, they're all commission-based people. And they get paid an hourly wage plus a commission base. So very similar to this problem here. So we have to calculate 3.05% of the total. So let's figure out his commission. Here we go. So we need to calculate 3.05% of the total. Okay, and we know the total, well, the total's here in the problem here. What's 3.05 as a percentage? So we got to be careful here. Yeah, can you guys just type that in the chat here? I want to see everybody's decimal here. You got to be careful. Make sure you convert that correctly. There we go. Good job, you guys. So let's convert that to decimal. So 0.0305 times the total sales, which is a big number, because computers add up big time. Okay, so what is that? What is the commission on that? You'll be surprised. It's a pretty good number. Yeah, or maybe is the third digit above a 5? You guys, everybody comment on Xavier's and Klaus and also Priscilla's here. Okay, so the third digit is bigger than 5. Okay, so let's round up there. Okay, there we go. So $24,871.29. Okay, so that's the commission. So annual salary is $26,520. Commission $24,871 and change. What's the total salary? You got to add these two. You're on it. Okay, there you go. So when you add those two, you get a total of $51,391.29 per year, which is, respectable per year. Not enough to live on if you had a family of 3 or 4. All right, but if you're single starting out and you had a modest little apartment somewhere, probably handle that pretty well. Okay. So let's reflect back. Look at all 10 problems, everybody. Look back at the entire review. Are there any thoughts or questions or on what we've done today together? That goes out to everybody online and in the classroom, either one. And if not, give me some kind of response, either physical or in the chat, one of the two. So I'm looking at you guys now that we're here. And over here, got people. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna still scan and submit and do everything in the Canvas like normal. So whether you're in the classroom or online, we still scan and submit it to Canvas. So if you're in the classroom, you can take out your phones if you want, scan with your Adobe Scan, upload to Canvas right now. Everybody else should be doing the same thing. Michael, stick around. I'll talk to you here in a couple minutes. Let me just get everybody going here. I want to go to Canvas and just talk about one thing before I let you guys go and do what you guys need to do. So let's open up Canvas. You guys could be scanning your work as I speak right now. All right, so let's see here. So in Chapter 5 module on Canvas, the Chapter 5 review is at the bottom. That's where you submit your work. Above it is the Chapter 5 project part 1, which only a handful of you guys started before break. And then very few submitted their work. And I assume it's because Ainsworth didn't assign any homework over break. Am I right on that? Yes, okay. And so we still need to finish your work on it. So when tonight's homework and what you're going to be working on tonight and tomorrow is the Chapter 5 project part 1, which is up here on the screen. It's right above the review. So if you have not started yet, which is most of you, now you have something to work on. As Jonathan, you and I talking about here, I'm going to be working on the video and the solutions here later on today. Get that uploaded. You'll notice the due date is not tomorrow, though. When's the due date? Yeah, so it's on the 9th. Today's the 6th. So it's not due tomorrow. You have time to work on it. But we're going to be utilizing interventions the same way. So for my people here at school, you guys are, unfortunately, you're not allowed to stay after school on campus. And I know that bums you out because, it'd be kind of nice to sit down and chat and talk and get to know one another like we normally do here at school when you go say hi to teachers and your friends. So we're going to have regular online intervention at 1:15-ish. Hopefully I can make it home on time. And because intervention typically starts at 1:10. And then you guys can show up during the online intervention, and I can help you with anything, whether it's current homework or anything else, it doesn't matter. You guys are always welcome to come in the intervention after school if you needed some additional assistance on anything. And then same thing goes with you guys, but we have to get home first and then, go to part 2 on that because they're not allowing us to stay here on campus, unfortunately. Maybe things will change later on. I hope they do. So the restrictions will be cut back and then we're going to allow more time together. And eventually, I hope we're going to get everybody back full time here at school. I hope. That'd be nice. And get rid of these things. So we can actually do some group work. Wouldn't you like that? I mean, I know I would. And I would like to see you guys online here at campus too. I'd like to actually see and work with you guys in person. That'd be nice. So before I let you go, any questions or needs that I can address before I let you guys do what you guys need to do? Okay, so make sure you scan and upload right now on today's current work. Print this one project off here. Give me some smiles online. You guys are good today. Thanks for participating. I'll see you guys soon. And then for you guys, I can't let you go until the bell rings because I'm responsible for you. And no teachers can let you go, 15, 20 minutes early. So I think I get out here at typically 12:25. Is that correct? 12. I think it's 12:25, but yeah. So we have to stay here until then, just because it's my responsibility. I've got to be professional and make sure that you guys are okay. And whenever we end class early like this, feel free to, you guys can work on anything you need to. Obviously, if you can't print that off, if you don't have it, you can do that at home. But if we ever have extra time in class, you can work in your workbook if we're in the workbook. Or I had periods 1 and 2 today. So if you have work to do in periods 1 and 2, you obviously can work on previous work as well. Okay? And they also don't, right now, at this point, they don't want me roaming the room and interacting with you like I typically do. Because I'm not up here all the time. I'm usually walking around. I have my tablet in my hand and I'm walking around working because I can teach off the tablet. And then I go around from group to group working with you guys, checking things like normal. But at this point, they're not allowing us to do that. So it's not because of my choice. It's just because that's the way it is right at the moment. But hopefully that will change pretty soon. So tell me, how's your day been? Your first day back. Let's go around the room and one at a time, just tell me how your day's going. So, Ryan, you want to start us off here?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Was it good to be back for you?
Yep.
Good experience in all 3 classes, I hope.
Yeah, because you could
Did you make any new friends today?
not really.
Well, yeah, so it's good to see them now. Same thing with me. Believe it or not, I haven't seen some of my colleagues, my teachers that I work with, in months and months and months. So So it's good to see them as well. So let's go around the room here. Tell me about your experience. Yeah, what was that? What like after good experience in the pasta period 1 and 2 as well? What was weird about it? Let me know, because your experience, your perspective is different than mine. Because I have my own weird things I got to figure out. You know what I mean? So what was tough for you? What was weird for you? Like today, it was kind of quiet, huh? I mean, some of you guys spoke up a little bit, but it's not like the typical class for me over, you know, nothing online. It's just pure communication, right? So that is kind of weird. I know it's kind of weird for me too, because I'm not used to that. Girls? And was the instruction okay? Was it good for you? Teachers need to know feedback. We need feedback from all our kids. Like, what's working, what's not? What do we need to change to make it better for you guys? What do I need to change to make it better for them? This is the first time I've ever done this in 29 years. I mean, no one's ever taught us this before. What was your experience with? Was it smooth? Yeah. Similar to what you did at home, or different in some ways? Did you guys meet some cards out there in between classes? Yeah, some of you guys, yeah, some of you know. How was your day? I know it is the first time. I haven't had you guys in prior years. And so it's the first time meeting English, it's the first time meeting you guys. It's the important thing. How was your day? Well, yeah, same with me. I'd rather do the kids. I didn't get into teaching to be online. How was your day?
It was okay. It was just like weird because I'm used to like teachers always like telling the class to be quiet, but everyone like today was just not really quiet.
I know. I'm doing the exact opposite. I'm saying, hey, you know, turn on your flag, speak up. Right? Isn't that weird? I know. And because I think that in the beginning, we're also like, in the beginning of the year when we went on, but in the beginning, it was, I think people were afraid to turn on the mic, speak up. Am I right or not? You guys hesitant to speak up on the Zoom? And I understand that because when I work with my colleagues and we have our staff meetings, there's like 150 people in our staff meeting in Zoom. It's a really big meeting. I too feel a little hesitant sometimes to speak up, even though I have something to say. Sometimes I have a hard time getting the unmute button and vocalize my thoughts and opinions in front of 150 people. So what you guys are feeling, I feel it too. It's not always easy. It's a little bit easier here. If I was in a smaller staff meeting with my fellow teachers and we're in a room, which we typically are, it's a little bit easier just to speak up in front of you. It's a little bit weird up here in this environment. That's why we gotta somehow, I hope society gets to the point where we come back to normal, get rid of these crazy things, go back to group mode. I usually have groups of 4 in here. If you've ever seen my classroom. And usually when we do our group work, we do it facing each other and you guys carry your stuff together instead of doing the chat thing. Which is effective. I kind of like it. The chat's kind of cool though, because then you can see all the responses, you can see what everybody else is doing. Because, I mean, you can't see each other's work from that far apart. But if you guys put your results in the chat, you guys can communicate with each other that way. So there are some advantages for the chat and some disadvantages. You know, we got to work through that. So anything that I need to know as a teacher up here that can help me make the experience better for you guys? I want to know. If we're all the teachers are going to be struggling to figure out what can we do better in this environment to make it good for you guys. I want to hear it. Anything comes to mind? I know it's only day one, but might have something. Did you notice anything in another classroom that could be improved? Speak up, so everybody can hear you.
Like, if you want to, next one, like, in after classroom, it's kind of like weird, like, kind of getting on top. So, like, you guys provide, like, everyone that's in the room, you know, you want to,
So, okay, that's a good idea. So maybe, yeah, they're in different breakout rooms up there online. And you guys somehow communicate in smaller groups in here. Even though it's a little bit of a challenge right at the moment. Especially if you're really not sitting by one another. So we'd have to figure out how to get Kyle involved back here. And then we'll probably have to move you over here so you can get involved over here. So maybe the placement of you guys, maybe we're gonna have to get closer. Like next time, maybe you guys can sit closer to one another. And then we can have maybe you two over here. So we can have, you guys are fine right there. Then where we can communicate a little bit better, make it a little easier to communicate. That's a good point. Yeah, because you know, it's hard to think of everything. But there's a lot of things that happened before, like yesterday and in the morning that I didn't think of. And then all these things started happening. Like, oh, I didn't think about this. So constantly adjusting. What else? That's a good point, Rick. I haven't even thought of that until you just brought it up. In financial algebra, I haven't done a whole lot of breakout rooms. And another class I do a lot, right, is development of the course. What else have you noticed today that you want to something to think about?
It wasn't in this class, but in my other class, there were only 4 people for the in-person. So it was just really weird. And then like quiet the entire time because we don't talk to each other because it's like computer science. So like that was really odd. Because there were only 4 people in the class.
well, I think I walked past the class.
So it was you.
No, I walked past the class.
That happened to me in first period, financial algebra. Everybody elected to be online except one. And so it had to be in the classroom. And you know, that's got to be odd for a student because you're not you guys are you know 30 40 other students. A lot of things to think about. So does everybody know? Let's go around the room. Everybody, let's turn around and let's face each other. Let's go around and say each other's names and make sure that you guys know everybody. I don't know if everybody knows everybody. Just because you're seniors doesn't mean you know everybody. So let's just go around and get back through here to say, well, obviously seniors. So just say your full name just so we can meet some friends here. Full name. Okay, Emily. And then
I'm John.
I'm Priscilla Gilbert. I'm Adriana.
can you guys hear? Yes, yeah, go ahead, please. We'll go. Okay. Kyle. All right. So one of the important things that I think happens in school is that you guys meet friends. It's one of the social things that's so important in school. That's what's been missing the entire year. So if you guys want, get to know each other a little bit, make a friend. That way you guys can maybe meet after school somewhere. Go to a movie, go to Starbucks, just meet some people, get some friendships going. Start doing things that we should have been doing all along, but we couldn't do because we weren't here. Okay, so don't be afraid to go up there and say hi to people, get together, do something on the side, form a new relationship. Sound good? So let's try to get to know each other better. I'll try to get to know you better. You can get to know me better, and then we'll end the year strong for you guys. By the way, did you know that you guys are going to have a graduation up there? I don't know the exact specifics yet, but you know you're going to have one, yes? Yeah, so it's going to be a lot better than last year. It's not going to be just 2 people working. Oh boy, I don't know about all the senior events. Go to the counseling on the way out. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little bit not in tune with all the events coming up. I will try to get some info on that, but if you want, stop by the counseling. I think you're gonna have to go to the main door, because over here on the side they kept that closed. So you're not gonna be able to get in there. So talk to your counselors, and then stop by the administration when you can get. Okay. All right. You guys submit all your work for today already? Already in campus?
Not with the loading.
Okay, so just, yeah, no problem. I give you plenty of time. I think it's about 15 minutes. Okay. Well done. It's great to see you guys back. I think we have 2 more minutes, so just take them on your own. Great to see you guys back. Glad you guys are here. Did everybody get a bag for earlier today? Oh, by the way, did they tell you about the wipes and everything that when you come into class, you can grab some wipes, clean your desk. That's totally optional up to you guys, but we have that for you guys. And then the hand sanitizer's up there if you ever want to use that. Okay, you guys are awesome today. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Yeah. We gotta alert the administration about the AC, and then we gotta get it fixed. It's gotta start getting hot. We have this corner room that's always gets hot. Okay. So Michael, is your mic working today?
Yeah, but I got stuff going on in my house, so it's probably like loud.
Okay. Give me a second here, buddy. Okay, so we can talk privately here. You guys have a great day. Okay. You bet. I'll see you in a couple days. Oh, wait a minute. Soon. Yeah. No. Oh, that's right. Chord A, chord. That's another thing I have to get used to. So you guys have a good one. All right. Take care. Okay, Michael, you and I are alone. Go ahead and what's going on?
So as a really bad excuse, but also I hope you understand. So, run of bad luck. I went to bed last night, and the baby next to my room woke up like 3 times and kept me up, and I didn't really know what to do because, well, my sister was sleeping, and I didn't know if she was just gonna like let her knock out on her own. So she woke me up like 3 times, and by like last time I didn't like pass out till like 3:50 in like the morning. And I thought I had like set my alarm, so I thought I was just only gonna get like at least like 2 hours of sleep or 3 hours. But my alarms didn't go off because when the house has like a power outage, everything obviously in the house like resets. So I didn't realize I had just like set alarms, like I clicked the buttons, set alarms that were never gonna go off anyways. So I missed like a bunch of other class too. And I couldn't remember if our class ended at like 11 or 12-ish. So I like was trying to join other classes. And then I ended up just being like, okay, I'm gonna just join the math class, and hopefully Ainsworth will tell me.
Okay, I understood. Well, thanks for letting me.
It won't happen again.
It's all right. Now, so you see my screen, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you screenshot this and print it off for your home?
Okay.
Let me know when you're done screenshotting that.
Okay, I have it.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's your schedule right there. So print that off, put it on your wall, and set some alarms on your phone. Like I have like 6 different alarms going off throughout the day when I was teaching online at home to remind me when the class starts. You know, I always have an alarm 10 minutes prior to the class and at the end of the class. And so it will alert me, you know, when, you know, the class starts and when it ends, and then when the intervention starts and when it ends. So I've got reminders on my phone just to keep track of time. You might want to try that.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So, you know, everybody needs reminders, especially when you get old like me. Okay?
Okay. I appreciate that.
And I'll put
I
the,
kinda-
go ahead.
I was like, I kind of popped in and I didn't really know what we were doing. So I just screenshotted what I saw. I don't know.
Okay, so let's go to Canvas. Let me go back to sharing. Next time, just if you ever come in late again, just
Mhm.
ask me what you're doing, and then I would pause and I'll go back to Canvas and I'll let you know what's going on. So that way you can participate. Okay? So if you go into, follow me on your Canvas here.
Okay. I gotta.
So let me know when you're in Chapter 5 module.
And financial. 3, 5. Okay, I'm in chapter 5.
Okay, so you see at the bottom, it says Chapter 5 Project Part 1.
Yes.
Oh shoot, I forgot to talk about that at the end of class. I'm gonna have to send out a message. Chapter 5 Project Part 1 is your homework. And what we did today in class is Chapter 5 Review. So if you click on that, the review at the bottom, and then click on your hyperlink right here, let me know if you see this right here. This is what we reviewed today in class, the 10 problems. Do you see this?
Okay, chapter 5, section 1, 2, 3 review.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we did. I'll post the recording when it's done being produced. I'll put it up in here for you because you came in late. So if you need the recording to do the review, I'll put that in here in a few minutes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, take care. Get caught up tonight, and then again, just try to get organized. Know your times, and I'll see you in our next class session.
Okay, sweet. I'll see you next class. Have a great day.
You too, Michael. See you, buddy.